Hi, everyone. My name is Sabrina Schmidt Gordon. I am a documentary filmmaker and instructor here at the J School, and obviously also a student. My social journalism project is a community engagement campaign for my current documentary, Quest, coming in 2017. Quest is the portrait of the Rainey family living in North Philadelphia. We began filming them 10 years ago when the Raineys decided, after a community center shut down, to open their home music studio that they built in their basement to the entire neighborhood. It was sort of like a creative sanctuary from some of the strife in the community. And we kept filming with them after all those years, and what started as a short project about the music studio ended up being, turning into much more. And I'm proud to say that we are having our world premiere at the Sundance Film Festival next month, where we are in competition for Best Documentary. And yeah, so that's very exciting. But before I tell you about my community engagement campaign, I would like you to meet the Rainey family. It's Quest, Ma, and PJ. So can I shut down the lights?
Make sure this part, the bow is showing, so the bow will be sitting out forward. Like
but I got faces towards all the people.
Well, it depends on which way you're going to be facing, yeah.
Dear God, we thank you for this man and this woman, that together they can conquer anything.
Just turning into a teenager, I don't like that. Can you just go back to being like 5? Because you were like the coolest 5-year-old ever.
I know.
I love North Philly. This is the neighborhood that we lived in all our lives, but North Philly definitely is a tough neighborhood. Like, I see kids with guns 12, 11 years old, got guns or whatever. So what do? I open up my door every day and I say, come in.
We started the studio 13 years ago. It gives a positive outlet for a lot of these people, the young people especially, that don't have another place to go. It's a safe place.
Philadelphia, a 13-year-old girl was shot by a stray bullet just before 4 this afternoon in the 2300 block of West Norris Street. Medics took her to Temple University Hospital. She was in stable condition. So far, no arrests.
She blaming herself for getting shot. When I seen my child bleeding from her face, screaming, "Daddy, I'm sorry for getting shot," what do you say to that? I hear these shots every day. Every day. I never thought I'd go out there for my child.
So, my community is, my focus is urban communities affected by gun violence, with a special focus, of course, on North Philly, where the Raineys are from. Gun violence obviously is a huge problem throughout the country, and takes a particularly heavy toll on vulnerable communities like North Philadelphia, as it interacts with challenges that they're already facing, like poverty and unemployment, underinvestment in healthcare, education, and basic overall neglect. In terms of the reporting, my primary reporting for both the film and the engagement campaign has been interviews. And obviously we did interviews with the family, their friends, and moving outward from there. And also in terms of like the community engagement campaign, I also interviewed local activists and folks that serve these communities in North Philadelphia, as well as folks who do this work on a national scale. And that included an interview that I did with the creators of hashtag #BlackLivesMatter, which became a video and written essay that went viral on social media. So the organizing principle of our engagement campaign is the belief that community and families like the Raineys should lead in the sharing of their stories, as well as having a voice in terms of crafting solutions that reflect their needs, their priorities, and their aspirations. And so out of that, what emerged from those conversations are these 4 areas of focus around which our campaign will be centered. Obviously, community-empowered solutions to creating safe neighborhoods, economic investment, healing from trauma, which was a one that came up a lot, that there is not enough attention given to folks that are dealing with trauma, especially for children, and youth empowerment with a focus on civic engagement. So one of the things I also want to add regarding the Raineys is that they made a really generous and major decision after PJ was shot to continue to keep their doors open, even though the kids that come through the neighborhood, the kids who come through the music studio rather, are kids that who know who shot PJ, and probably the folks that did shoot PJ could be going to the studio. But they made a decision that they wanted to remain committed to being a force for good in their community, and left their doors open and just don't ask questions. So in the spirit of that, we wanted our engagement campaign obviously to be leveraged as a tool to support and empower communities like North Philadelphia. But I think most of all, we really want to amplify the Raineys' story of hope and love and healing, which ultimately, at the end of the day, is at the core of their story and of the film. So beginning with a pilot program in Philadelphia, we will launch the Quest Film Tour. And what we want to do is we want to take it to the top 10 to 15 cities around the country that are impacted by gun violence. And what we want to do is do this in partnership with organizations and activists and educators around the country, both on the local level and also folks that are working on a national scale. And I think it's important, too, that we want to make sure that we reach communities that would otherwise be ignored or forgotten, or not necessarily reached in the most kind of conventional ways. So folks that are in prisons, incarcerated, and in rehabilitation centers, things like that. It's really important to the Raineys that that happens. So we are committed to doing that, and we have some great support from some major donors about making that happen. The other component of the engagement campaign will be to partner with designers and programmers and other experts in civic technology to develop products, tech solutions, and experiences that arise from the issues that are raised by the film. One very exciting thing that happened recently is someone from Google reached out to us about creating an immersive experience using music and maybe connecting that with healing. So all of this would be hosted on an online platform that could include photographs and video and user-generated content, an online publication that would feature more writing from us, the filmmakers, as well as the Raineys, our partners, as well as curated content. We had a community event in October. I'll just let it play in the background. It was a combination film screening. It was also a photo exhibit, because our director is also a photographer, and he's been taking photographs of the community for about 10 years. And you see these captions here are done by the Rainey family, so they captioned their own photographs. And we did a Q&A, and we did a panel discussion, and that panel discussion obviously, of course, included the family, as well as local partners from Philadelphia Ceasefire and the Children's Crisis Treatment Center.